Hello everyone, we are live. Hey, another episode. We are at episode 54. Oh my God, like so much work. We're putting things together. So everything happened for this Puppet podcast. It's so cool. We're getting more eyes towards what we do. We do workshop, we give tips and free cheat sheet for online promotion. So everyone, if you want to know more also about the Patreon, that's what we launched. It's in the description, just below this wonderful live. You can click on that and see more about what we do. We have this workshop. I drop it into the screen. Promotion here about quality puppet mouth palates with the Swazzle brother who are in LA. They will share their knowledge about building puppet quality stuff, and they are amazing, really interesting. If you haven't checked the interview we have done with those guys, just have a look and you will be close to be part of this workshop. So it's August 7 at 7 Eastern time, and yeah, just tune in, click below in the description. You have the info over there on the Patreon. So right in the chat where you are right now, because we are connecting many puppeteer more and more worldwide. We were yesterday with Singapore, like opposite side of the planet, but tonight we go just drop down to Brazil. I'm so amazed to connect. Hello, Thomas. Yeah, I'm so amazed to connect with all of you guys. So feel free to reach us, to write an email, info@puppetpodcast.com. And let's bring this wonderful guest into the screen because he will share his passion from Brazil. He's a ventriloquist. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Warley Santana!
Of course, it's just a joke because of the pandemic times. I'm here wearing a mask, and it's a real pleasure being here with you. Thank you for inviting me, for having me here. So I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you to accept to just share your passion. So, Warley, you are a ventriloquist, but a comedian. You host TV show. You are kind of in Brazil like a celebrity. You are all over with puppetry art. Is that right?
Puppetry art. Yeah, I may not be a celebrity, but yes, I may say I live doing what I like.
I like to say that I have celebrities in my shows, but you.
But yes, I do. I started as a puppeteer. I started as a reporter in comedy and so on at a TV show named CQC, which is very famous TV show from Argentina and also Brazil. But after that, I started working with puppets at a Puppeteer. I worked at a TV show named El Hormiguero, the Ant Hill. O Formiguero here in Brazil. It's a very famous TV show in Spain, but it's not. But it is the Brazilian version I worked with as a puppeteer. So I started like that in the puppetry world, I'd say.
That's good.
I love it. It's simply, and congratulations for your podcast and so all your effort to spread the gospel of puppetry.
I love this. The gospel of puppetry. That's right.
Yeah, it is. It has to be spread, isn't it?
Yeah. So I want you to introduce yourself, Warley, also, like maybe a former presentation about like maybe your background towards like puppetry. You say a little bit, but maybe about like your crush, when your crush for puppetry happened.
Yeah, it happened at a very early age, right? We started always very young. We love puppets and toys and all of these things. But it actually started at the church. I remember it's impossible to forget, because I remember there was a guy there in front of the church with a puppet, and he talked. I couldn't believe my eyes. He was talking. How could that puppet talk? So I remember the sensation. I remember having that. That's the illusion, right? But I didn't know it was an illusion. I thought it was really talking. You see, I'm not that smart. But I simply fell in love with it. So it started, and of course, I always loved Muppets and Hanson and everything which is related. And after so many years, about 20 to 30 years later, after the church sensation of looking at a puppet talking, I started working with it, but I was invited to work with it. I didn't know, this is not something I asked it for. I was invited, thank you God for that. And then they invited me to Formigueiro, to Anthill, which is a talk show with puppets from Spain. Then we traveled all over to Spain to study that. And after a while, as I already worked with stand-up comedy, someone sent me some videos of Jeff Dunham, and then I simply fell in love with that. I said, wow, this is comedy with puppets for adults also. And for how do I have to research this also? So that's why, besides doing puppetry, I also started studying a little bit more of ventriloquism, which I got fond of it, and I was crazy about it, about all types of puppetry. So that's how all the crush started.
That's great. And you bring all of those performing art all together brilliantly. And I want to know the why. Why puppetry is an art that you cherish?
Wow, this is such a beautiful question because of its playfulness, because it's possible to do whatever you want with puppets. If you have a human being, you may also have a puppet instead. So I'm here for the puppets. I love human beings. I'm not saying we are evil or anything like that, but I say I love it when they are replaced by puppets. So this is something that make me feel good when I see puppets. I see an art form which is really interesting. I think anything with puppets is more interesting, and also it brings childhood memories also. When you have something talking instead of a person, and I will insist on that, it's something that makes me feel happy, and I try to make people happy through my puppets. So I think this is a circle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fulfilling. It's really it's feel the emptiness, and you give and you take, and I really understand the feeling. It's really amazing. I want to know, like, in your opinion, what would be the best field of study to become a puppeteer?
I've heard that there are some courses at Swazzle, isn't it? There are some good places, but for instance, here in Brazil, they are a little bit rare, but we do have so many puppeteers. But I traveled to Spain and to the US for studying puppetry and also ventriloquism. But we have, for instance, Kelly Guidotti. She's a puppeteer from my TV show here, and she's also the Brazilian Elmo. Oh, how interesting is that! So she took classes at the Hansons in New York, and also she has a course here teaching puppetry specifically for TV. So the position of eyes, how to deal with inversion of cameras, and so on. So, but I think this is also an interesting place. But Venthaven Convention, which is this convention for the ventriloquists, is the place where I could meet some idols. I told you about Jeff Dunham. There is Terry Fader. There is Dan Horn. There is Tom Ladshaw, Tom Kroll, Lee Cornell, Mark Waid, Steve. Sorry for saying so many names, but there are so many good people I could study with. So I'm so happy for that. But I'm now I've been more into puppetry in general. I mean, ventriloquism is something that I love, of course, but I've been studying a lot about it. I have some news. I'm writing a book about it.
Oh yeah.
About ventriloquism. Yeah, I will send you one as a gift soon. But I'm about to finish that, and I teach ventriloquism and also talk about the history of ventriloquism a little bit, so how it started,
Wow.
the history and so on. So I'm really interested in this field of studying.
Yes, and it's good to, as you said, to connect with people like you love the work and learn from them. I really agree also. I want to know your definition, because every puppeteer I met have kind of similarity, but to know your definition of a puppet, like how to answer what is a puppet when someone asks you.
This is a very good question. I never know how to answer it properly, because everything or anything can be a puppet. Let me show you. I have one. It's a nice puppet. Look. But of course, this is just an example. But I have to tell you a story. I had a gig, a show over there in Cincinnati, in the international show at the Ventriloquist convention. And another friend of mine, André Milano, he went with me. He traveled with me, and he was there. He is also from Sesame. He's Grover, the Brazilian Grover. So, and he's Dudu at TA CERTO, my TV show here. And then we traveled together, and then we were discussing. He's a puppet builder. He's a puppet maker, a figure maker also. So he felt like, in the middle of our travel, he said, I think I'm gonna make you a puppet. I said, wow, for my show here? He said, yes, but I don't even have the voice or anything. So he started doing in form, working on it as if he was making a caricature. You know that? It is crazy. People are so talented. Let me show you. This is this guy here. Look. Hello, Carol. So does it look like me? So he made it. He made me.
That's good.
So I put it in the show. It was a blaze. It was wonderful, a blast. I didn't know how to say. Of course, I told the audience, most of them Americans, and I said, "Hello, people. It has just been made by my friend Milano, André Milano." And so, wow, it was a very good experience. I had no contact. I had no contact with the puppet before, but it was a good experience. So I think anything can be a puppet, even myself.
That's a good point on the definition. Even myself.
Yeah, but anything can talk. A pen or a book or whatever. You know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I liked it, and the fact that you just jump into it, like don't know the puppet, but discover it on stage with the audience. It's a lot of courage.
And there is another friend of mine who is Rubinho Lousada, and he's a very good figure maker, and he makes puppets out of trash, of waste, of garbage, of anything.
Yeah.
So look how beautiful Tutankhamun is. Look, this is a puppet. He made it with soda bottles, plastic bottles. You see, and
wow.
you can make puppets out of anything. So Rubinho Lousada is also another great example of puppet builders that make crazy things and nice things.
Yes, a lot of talent in Brazil for sure. Right there, we can observe it.
We
Yeah.
have to work without money, without try to be as much as creative as we can.
Yeah, and you get some clap on the chat right there. You're below people clapping. So thank you, everyone. And if you have, by the way, a question for Warley, just feel free to put it into the just below the interview, and we will bring it into the screen and ask Warley
Nice.
about that. Yay! So let's go for the more deep question, like about our field. Like, do you feel puppetry art is in an ascension?
Oh, great question too, because I think this is in total ascension, a total ascension. This is going really, it's rising up through the air. I really believe it, because if I tell you my personal story about some gigs, for instance, I love rock and roll, and I love music in general. I'm not very good at it, but I love it. And I met Sean Kinney, for instance, the drum player of Alice in Chains, which is a famous band and so on. So it was in Cincinnati 2 years ago. And then I met him and I said, "Oh, hi, Sean, could I take a picture with you?" He said, "Okay, yeah, great." And then we were taking the picture. I said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Brazil." "Oh, really? Oh, nice. Okay. What do you do?" He asked me. I didn't know what to answer. So I said, "I'm a ventriloquist." When I said that, he said, "Oh, really? Are you kidding me?" I said, "No, I'm a ventriloquist." He said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I said, "Tomorrow? Tomorrow I'll be going back to Brazil." He said, "No, no, no." I said, "Why? You should be the opening act of my show of Alice in Chains." "You kidding me? How, with a puppet?" And yes, he said yes. So I opened their show. But can you imagine open hard rock show with a puppet, which is the nerd-like one, with childish jokes. I don't know how to do that, so I had to work on the text for having a good routine for doing that. So we make pun imitations, like they have a very famous song which is "Man in the Box." So I started with this one. I said, "Oh, I'm going to take my man in the box," and then we started working on that, on the name of the songs, and then the people realized that, and they wow, and they were cheering, and so I was speechless. Of course, I cried a river later on, because I didn't know. I was so nervous. The technique of ventriloquist went away. I couldn't even think. I was really nervous, but and so we were talking about the ascension. That's why I'm telling this story, because I had so many other opportunities with puppetry, traveling to Japan for visiting some schools and doing with the puppets, and I also working for TV shows from Chile, for instance, as a music judge from a TV show, and the puppet, my antenna, which is this one here. How do you like? Oh, girl, how do you like that? This is a Nextel expression. So, how do you like the music, Anthony? "Oh, not so good." Come on. So we were both judges at a TV show. So this is limitless. We can go wherever we want with puppets. I think they paved the way to the infinite. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Like the song, not the only one.
Yes.
That's cool. And we have some question right there. So let me bring Eli. Eli, I've always a good question. How many viewers monthly watch your TV show, Wale?
Very good, very good, very good. Ellie, congratulations for your work too, and millions of people. We're in a country which is a continent, so yeah, you know that Canada is also huge. Yeah, of course, it's even bigger, but you know what I mean.
But you have a lot of people over there.
A lot of people, yes. We have 220 million people here in the country, and my TV show is all around the country. So I don't know to say, I don't know how to say this by numbers, but we do have lots of people watching us every day. And there are some regions it's a daily show, and the others it's a week show. So, so I'm very happy with the repercussion, with the response from this show. We were not expecting that. We were supposed to do just the first year, and we're going now to the fourth one. So we're very happy with this one. And there are some different types of from the same TV show. So now we have guests that come to the show and talk to the puppets and talk to me. So and it's interesting, and it's we deal with education through TV Cultura is very famous for its content for education. So we have fun with education, puppets, of course, with puppets. Of course, because of the puppets, because of this success we've been having, we're so happy with that.
That's so cool. You are kind of a pioneer, and you bring more and more puppets. We have a question of Thomas, or Thomas, we say in French. Thomas asked, like, Warley, how long you've been a puppet man, puppeteer? How long from?
Oh, right. It's not a long time, Thomas. Thank you for your question, but only 10 to 12 years. I think it's not a long time, because there is always a new field to dig in, to go and to search and research and to study. And so I'm still, if I were only starting it. So, and actually I'm just starting it, because only 12 years of experience is not that much. And I've been learning a lot with the puppeteers from the TV show, because
but it's such a community full of sharing, full of knowledge, and it's like no one keep it for himself. It's kind of like a really open feel. It's really great.
Yeah, sure.
So it's bring me for a question about you. Like, what is your biggest purpose as a puppeteer? Like, do you have something in the future you said, I want to go there, achieve that?
Yeah, something I think I've been achieving, if I could say that, is communication. I mean, puppets for me are the best way to communicate in all ways. And when I say communication, I'm comprehending many areas, not only being on TV and talking, but as I told you, to deal with education and to educate with fun, for instance, or and I also worked with a lot of non-profit organizations. So I always feel touchy when I talk about it, but I go sometimes to some elderly houses, elderly care, and I went 3 months ago, just before the pandemic times. I went to a place with the elderly with Alzheimer's, and it was a marvel. Sorry for feeling like this, because it was a great experience. I know they are not going to remember that, because they have Alzheimer's, but the opportunity to share with them the puppetry and to let them touch the puppets and talk to them and make the show to them, I think it was marvelous. And also I remember this because it's some time ago, only 2 to 3 months ago, but we've been visiting some hospitals and also some places. And when I say communication, I mean all of this together. I'm not talking about TV shows or theater plays only, but to communicate our sharing and our experience and words and shows in general. So that's I'm sorry for feeling like that.
No, it's totally part of the job. I talk with fellow puppeteers, and we say it's kind of a duty also to go and bring some hope and and puppet. Like the puppet could make such a high communication with someone. I don't know. It's kind of bringing like it's not like ground. It's ground at the same time, but at this it could be really high.
And also, if I went there alone by myself, it would be great. It would have been great, but with the puppet, it's totally different. We can access some areas I think we couldn't have if we were by on ourselves. This is so. I think puppets make it possible, if I could say that, to help with this communication and also helping others. And you can teach language with that puppet. You can, I don't know, anything.
Yeah, I totally agree, and people agree. Like we have like people comment. Marcelo said that you are a very talented artist and also a very nice person. And yeah, so people are happy to see you. And let's go for the future again question about where do you see the puppetry art in 10 years?
This is a very good question too. I love your questions, Carol, because we've been working in sharing experience. Something that happened is that we got united with the other puppeteers here in Brazil, and for some time we've been planning a gathering or a get together, or we're trying to work on workshops for each other. So for instance, Milano helps me with his ability to manipulate puppets, and then I help him with the ventriloquism technique, and all the idea of fostering, of stimulating puppetry throughout the country. And we have a lot to do, a lot of connection with you because of that too. And so the idea is also we make interviews with puppeteers. We have some very famous TV shows here in Brazil, which there is one which is Mais Você. It's a daily show in the morning here in the mainstream, the major TV channel. But and there is a puppet there. Nobody knows who's behind the puppet or under the puppet, but he's a marvelous puppet. His name is Tom Veiga, and he's with a parrot. So every morning, and this is for adults, and it's but he's got no place to be shown, to appear, to talk about it. I don't know if he really wants it, but we want to show him. This is the idea, to change experiences. I have some references here in Brazil, which is Palhaço Gelatina, it's a clown, and Augusto Bonequeiro in the Northeast. He's a very good. What I mean with that, I'm surrounded that we're trying to make a gathering. And this is the very first time I'm talking about it, and Milano is here because we were on a meeting about it. So this is the very first time I'm going to talk about it. The name of our gathering is Puppet Point. This is the best name we found some time ago, but now we're working on that. And then this is we share knowledge about puppetry, so it will be a portal with information with everybody. And of course, you are you started that. Now, the very first time I talk about it, we've been planning that for about 2 years already. But now I'm telling you, Puppet Point. So in 10 years, I think there will be a lot of things. We have TV shows, we have filming ideas, we have talk show. I will have my own talk show soon. So with the direction of a very famous director here who worked a lot with talk shows before, Willem van Verelt. His name is Dutch, but he's a Brazilian guy. And so I'm so happy. I hope so many things. I'm sorry to be too talkative.
That's the purpose of an interview. So you committed. You have to do this gathering and get the Brazilian community of puppeteer together. And for sure, it will have result and expansion of your field, your art, and for sure. It's really a good vision, positive vision. Well,
yeah, very positive. Yes, I'd say so.
yeah, yeah, I will just check if we have other question, but if not, I want to ask you like something. It's kind of hard to answer because the full potential of puppetry, it's hard to envision, but I want to know if you feel that we will have a golden age at some point, that like we reach maybe the golden age, or we will find something new, like improvement or more creativity. How you see this with puppetry?
I think we are in the beginning of the golden age. Warley is very positive. Yes, I am. Because we've never, ever had so many possibilities and media and new media, new means of communication. So, for instance, today I may see an act, performing act from a guy in Russia, and 5 minutes later I can see someone in Korea doing another act. So I can be influenced by lots of puppeteers and artists in general. So I think this mixture, which is brand new to us, is going to bring new things, because when we mix things, we make new things. So
Yeah.
We are in the era of mixture yet. So I think we're in the beginning of the golden age, and that's why I feel so optimistic about it. And so another reason I'm so happy, there is a company named Hogarth. They are from England, and they are here in Brazil, and they are producers, and they deal with creativity. They are from the WPP group, which is a very big group of news and so on, and PR and so on. And they invited me to work on new projects with puppets.
Wow.
There isn't any, there wouldn't be any better news for me than that. So they liked what I do at TV Cultura and as a ventriloquist. So they asked me to be the head of this area with new projects with puppets.
Wow, a lot of future right there.
Yeah.
Amazing, and that's so cool. So for the conclusion, I always like to have a puppet, something you want to show, like representative of your work or something special.
Yes. So, but just before, I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
Before that, I'd like to thank the puppeteers of my TV show. Could I say their names?
Yes,
Just
yes.
because I think this is so important, and I know you agree with me. So it's Newton Marques, Sandro Gattoni, Evelyn Cristina, Fábio Caniato, Paulo Henrique, Thalita Pereira, Léo Delvage, André Milano, and Kelly Guidotti. They are the puppeteers of my show,
Yeah.
the CERTO show at TV Cultura.
And it's a big cast. It's a big team. That's great.
Yeah, big team, and lots of sharing. As you said, we're always exchanging experience and talking about the best way to be, and the other, someone helps, and if someone is missing, and they take it, the puppet, and they go. So it's a marvelous environment to be learning about puppetry and so on. But I have a surprise for you today. He's coming. I'm serious. My puppet walks. I'm going to show you. André Milano made it. Remember the one that traveled with me to the US?
Yeah.
A puppet, just like me. He made another one. Come on, this is me. Hello. He made me again. Go back.
You travel a lot with all of those luggage.
I feel like I'm talking to myself. Are you shy? Does he look like me?
The same note. Yeah, and how is the the man like on your side, the little you.
So he's new, brand new. It was made a month ago, and we work with that. He's a little bit lost with that. He's just like me. Where's the exit? He's asking me.
You have all of his puppet on his back. Where we do a new project? Let's do a new project. Come on.
This is the idea. The yes. This mini me. I think it's a good Annie, but just in saying that the name of Milano, Andrea Milano made it, so he's so talented. I was so happy when I saw.
we can feel the comedian culture also. Like I laugh so much, and I hear Eli next door is laughing also. So yeah, we have also plenty of little smiley person who laugh in the comments. So yeah, it's a good effect. Thank you for that, Warley. I get a blast. It's so cool to meet you and know more about your work and how your project. I think we will see a big ascension with you also part of it.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, for inviting me, and congratulations for what you do. And so does Eli, and the podcast, the idea. It's so good. It's so nice, and thank you for fostering the puppetry world, the puppetry art throughout the world. Thank you. I love your interviews, and there are so many talented people in this area, and you are bringing them, at least not bringing them to light. They have their own life, but I didn't know many of them, and I started following them, and this is so good. This is so nice. Thank you.
Yes, and we will keep going. As I told you before the interview, we apply for a grant, so yeah, thank you. Your support is always welcome. More support we get, more we grow, and more we can put follow spot to puppetry.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. So, Warley, if people want to see more of you, where they have to look?
Yes, I'm at the Instagram now. I've been working on that, which is at Warley, remembering that with W and Y, Santana, Warley Santana, like the singer, my uncle. Santana, Warley Santana, or here in Facebook also, and now we're also with Puppet Point, the Facebook. We're just we opened for this gathering of Brazilian puppeteers, because of course we will be in contact with everyone from abroad, from overseas. So and that's it, Warley Santana. So I have a TV, I have a channel which is Warley channel. It's not Warner, but it's Warley channel. On YouTube also. So
yeah, we will have a look on that. And it's funny, your name is something we can remember. We were saying that Eli and me, like Warley Santana. So it's a name we won't forget for sure.
Thank you. I hope so. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I will get back to you after that. I will just do the conclusion. So Warley, stay there. Thank you again. Yay, everyone. That was an amazing time. Thank you for watching. And have a look below to the Patreon if you want to be part of our workshop. It's coming on August 7 at 7. So in the description, just click and you will know all the detail about these Swazzle brothers who do a quality puppet mouth palette. How to create those things. So those guys are really good from LA. They have work in the TV industry in Hollywood. So you want to be there for this wonderful workshop. So everyone, thank you for watching again. You be free to share this interview because it was a lot of fun. So put it on your wall, on the wall of your group, and yeah, we will put it on YouTube in a couple of weeks. So everyone, have a wonderful evening and see you next week.
Learn how to get your first 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Join our Patreon page now. Link in the description.